Hey YouTube, this is Crazyman4985 and I'm back with another content reacted video. This song is going to be called Dance of the Nights, and it is composed by a Russian composer named Sergei Prokofiev. Hope that's how you pronounce it. Now, this guy might not be as classical as the last two videos I did, which was Beethoven and Mozart, because this guy was born 1891 and he died 1953. So he definitely is more on the modern, a little bit more on the modern spectrum of things. I mean, not as obviously as modern as like John Williams or even, definitely like not Hans Zimmer or any of those new composers today, but he's more modern than like classical, so I don't even know if this is considered classical or not. But so Dance of the Nights is the first movement, suite number 2, from the play Romeo and Juliet. So this was a suggestion, and let's start it. 3, 2, 1, play. Wow, this sounds epic. This sounds almost like a theme for a villain or something, you know, coming in like with this inevitable doom, right? That you feel this doom is awaiting, like dun dun boom bum, and it with the percussions, and then you have the strings in the background, which feel very watery almost, right? Like almost like a crying out. So it's spilling tragedy all over the place, right? But not tragedy in, I don't want to say tragedy in like a victim sense of the word, but I want to say tragedy in a, like, I'm gonna burn the village down in a sense of the word. Okay, let's continue this. This is really good, actually. Let's continue this. Going back to that original melody. Okay. It's like more of a soft, okay. Pause it here. Alright, it seems like a soft moment is coming in, but wow, I mean, that's like, this is feeling like again, this is the entrance of a villain right here, okay? I know this song's called Dance of the Nights. Now, I don't know if that's supposed to represent, like, see, I never saw Romeo and Juliet, so I don't know how this song, like, why it was written, or what exact, like, moment of the play that this song was written and composed for, but, I the feeling that I get is this is like an inevitable doom, like your heart sinking to the ground type of thing. And it almost feels like it's a theme song for like a villain. Like, I'm thinking like, like the entrance of a villain, like Darth Vader or something, like somebody who comes in like with an imposing doom, right? And this is the type of vibe I'm getting, like a like, that percussion and the violin in the background, which is like, giving that like, that really like, almost like a crying out, but with the menace in the background, when the percussion that keeps coming in and out, like almost like a march, like it's marching right in there, like you better watch out, I'm coming. Like, that's the type of vibe I'm getting. I mean, I've heard people say before, like, that this song feels like you're getting dragged into hell by your ankles or something like that. Like, this part, anyway. It seems like now we're getting to I paused it just before we're getting to some tranquil, serene part. So we're gonna play that. I'm 2 minutes and 2 seconds in, and we're gonna see how this works. Is this gonna be like happy? We'll see. We're just gonna play it. Maybe like a moment of hopefulness. Goes right. It's like went right, snuck right back in there. Okay. It's kind of using the original melody, but it's very toned down now in a much slower tempo. Is that a flute in the background, or clarinet or something? Is this after, maybe? Like, after the impending doom, it's like maybe the thunder struck, village got burned down, but maybe now people are coming together and rebuilding the village, right? This is the metaphor I'm getting in my head. Because it's so soft compared to the beginning. The beginning just felt like you're getting invaded, right? Like, now it's... Very, very tranquil. Almost feels like a mystique to it, too, like... Uh-oh. There's not an instrument involved here. Like a trumpet or something? It's a percussion. It's a never-ending cycle. That's what you get. Okay, it's the end. That, it's I like that whole tranquility moment. That kind of, was a good 70%, 65% into the song, and there's a tranquil moment. Like, once you feel that, okay, like, the intensity let up, right? This impending doom, tragic, like, dun, like, really hammering percussions and violin and just, like the entrance of a villain entering the scene, right? And all of a sudden, and it goes to this tranquil moment. And like I described earlier, it just feels like, okay, the village was burnt. You made your point. Like, you came in, you burned down the village. And now, then that tranquil moment felt like there was a moment of, let's come together, let's build, okay, the bad has happened. It's in the past. Now we're going to rebuild. And things aren't so bad, right? Bad times are in the past and things are getting better. And then at the end of the song, it goes right in. And it sounds like they even added like a trumpet or some other instrument just to add a little flair there. But, for the next part. But it felt like, again, it brings you back to that intensity right again. Like an unescapable tragedy, right? And that's what this song, Dance of the Nights, feels like. I never saw the play Romeo and Juliet. I don't know where this song was placed in that play. I mean, I'm just literally making this assessment and review and critiquing this based on what I'm hearing. So, yeah, let's give this a review on a scale of 1 through 10. 1 to 10. 1 to 10. And we are... 10 is going to be the high. It's like obviously the highest I can give. And 1 is like complete shit. So let's give this a review. What would I give this a review? Well, this particular piece, not a very long piece. It's only like 5 minutes and 46 seconds from what I'm seeing around there. So, it's, that might be better in some ways, right? Because sometimes people don't want to listen to like something that's going on forever. But on a scale of 10, I'm going to say one thing. Have I heard this song before? I have. I've heard it in movies and stuff. I've heard it all over the place. Commercials, you name it. I've heard it in my lifetime everywhere. It's obviously a very popular piece. Have I ever, like, actually focused on this piece? No. This is the first time I'm, like, really focusing on it. I would say... But again, let's go back to the review. A scale of 1 through 10. I'm going to give this a 9.2. Okay? I'm going to, write that down here. 9.2. And I'm not giving it a 10 because of the and it's not... Look, I don't give 10s out easily. Everybody knows that. And even a 9.2, I think it's super high. You're going to see a lot of my reviews are never going to even hit that. But this is a 9.2 because this can totally get you in a mood, in a moment. Like if you're playing video games and you're doing something where you're conquering and you're destroying and you're just like, you want to feel powerful, let's just say. This is a song for you. Especially that opening part. So yeah, the arrangement, the strings with the percussion and the use of the percussion, it just feels very powerful. I mean, it's dramatic. It's extremely dramatic. I mean, I've heard like a lot of people say, well, Russian composers are very dramatic, and Tchaikovsky was Russian, and he was kind of known for his dramatics in some sense. This is a very dramatic piece, very intense. But see, look, dramatic and intense doesn't have to mean it's great. It could, things can be dramatic and intense, and it's just like, okay, it's dramatic, it's intense, but is it really good? This is a very, very strong melody that's going to be lingering in your mind after this, and it's a very cool song. It's a song that almost represents tragedy, but at the same time, in the big tragedy and in impending doom, but it's very cool at the same time. So I give this a 9.2, and yeah, that's it. It's your boy Crazyman4985. Like, subscribe. It doesn't do you any harm. It does me a ton of good, and I will take more suggestions, and I want to keep pumping these videos out. I'm going to try to do at least one a week. You know, sometimes I may do more, like 2 a week, and sometimes I may do less, like once every 2 weeks, depending on the schedule and stuff that I have. But I want to keep these videos coming out, man. I want this channel to grow. I'm having a little bit of a problem with copyright claims. Like, one of my last videos got a copyright claim on it for the song. And I kind of like confused me, because like I think these composers are dead, you know, for so many years. But at the same time, then I know there's a whole orchestra that does it, and maybe the tempo is different. They put their own twist on it. But the Fair Use Act does say that, hey, if I put, this is all reactors, by the way, go through this. I watched stuff on, just a little side note here, but I watched stuff on, one reactor was saying, he had 1,200 uploads and literally got almost every video was copyright claimed. So he disputed it, and 85% of them went through. So and a little tip to reactors out there: don't give up if you get a copyright claim. Keep trying, keep pushing stuff out, because not every video is going to get claimed. And good chance most of your videos, if you put enough input, critique, you are trying to teach people, or you're trying to assess your point of view, and it doesn't infringe on the original song, or any reason to listen or watch the original song. As long as it doesn't infringe on that, it's fair use. It's a fair use law. But again, fair use laws are so complicated. And like, it was funny, one comment said, describing fair use laws is like explaining quantum physics to somebody. So, because that's how complicated fair use can get. But like I said, just keep pushing if you run into these problems. If you're a reactor and you run into these problems, keep pushing. Don't give up, because it is very easy to want to give up when you see those copyright claims and stuff, because you feel like your work's not being... But that's besides the point. 9.2, great piece by Sergei Prokofiev, and awesome. Thanks for the suggestion, Ricks, and we are out.